You can find us at Fired Up with CJ on Facebook and our Facebook page, as well as Google Plus under CJ Liu, my name. So welcome back, Joseph.
Thanks.
So today we have Joseph Goldstein, who is here talking about his book, Mindfulness, a practical guide to awakening. We all do want to awaken, don't we? I think.
Well, I hope so.
If not, we're screwed.
It's really awakening out of unease.
Yes. But actually, yeah, it is an awakening of unease and suffering, right?
Yeah.
We want to be happy. That's
Exactly.
the ultimate goal, I think.
Exactly.
Okay, so I wanted to map some of the concepts in this book to a real life scenario. And about 2 years ago, I did a TED Talk. And when I did that talk, the thing that I noticed the most, the biggest learning from doing that TED Talk was how much I was in effort and not in ease during that whole time. And throughout that TED Talk, I literally experienced, I was looking at your hindrances and I thought, yep, check, check, right? I was under, let's see, what are the hindrances? Desire, yep, I wanted to get, I will hope everyone sees this TED video. And then aversion, I don't really like when that guy gave me feedback about, that thing, it's making me angry. Why don't they appreciate the hard work I'm doing, blah, blah. And then sloth and torpor, where I was I just can't do this presentation one more time. I can't practice it one more time. Restless and worry, yep. Can't do it. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't know if I should be doing this. This stuff sucks. And then doubt, which is, to me, restless, worry, and doubt is just one big bundle.
Yeah.
It gets clustered together. So, and I think, as I was thinking back, whether it was this TED Talk or big work projects that I had going on, writing a book, a lot of people kind of have these mixtures of hindrances that come up in real life work settings. And I know, and I was talking to you during the break, I was wondering, when writing this book, did you have these hindrances come up? And you said to me, gosh, I've been writing books for 40 years, so it's changed over time, but I was wondering if you could share kind of what hindrances came up for you, how you handled them, and how they've changed over time.
Yeah, I would say in the beginning, it's like when I wrote my first book, I was pretty young. It was, I had just started teaching. I was in my early 30s. And in writing the book, there was a lot of both excitement and, writing your first book, it's really a big deal.
Yeah.
But also, doubt and worry about how it would come out. And then after it comes out, of course, how one handles the feedback.
Right.
Some people like it, some people don't. I mean, nowadays, you're looking at Amazon and all the customer reviews. So it's a real equanimity test. But over the years, it really has gotten easier.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons. One is there's a lot more familiarity with material.
Right.
And especially, and this is an important point, I think. It's important that whatever the project is, but particularly in the meditation world and writing about it, that it's really coming from a place of our ongoing practice rather than a memory of it. Because if we've let our own practice slide and we're writing from something we did 10 years ago, then it's not alive.
Right.
But if it's coming out of our practice now, whatever it might be,
right.
Then we're really embodied in the material.
Right.
And so
you're being mindful. You're
that,
presently and being mindful of what's
exactly. And there's a lot more life to it.
Yeah.
But there also will still be, just as you mentioned, that mix of motivations. Is it going to be a bestseller? How many people are going to look at it? Whatever. Those thoughts come. To the degree that we can be mindful of them, they don't take over the mind.
Okay,
we just say, oh yeah, this is a conditioned kind of thought pattern, and we can see it and even smile at it, and let it come and go. But if we're not very mindful of it, it could easily become an obsession.
Right.
And then the hindrances really start to play large.
Right.
So being aware of our motivations and even the mix of motivations,
right,
so that we can, give emphasis to the positive ones,
right,
and let the others, even though they're coming, we just let them slide through.
Okay. All right. So, and here's the interesting thing, because like I said, I've interviewed a couple of Buddhists who are advanced practitioners, I would call them,
Uh,
and so stuff that comes to you. I interviewed Lama Surya Das, and I'll
uh-huh.
say something to him like, "Oh, so let's say you're stuck in traffic, and I'm getting into the kind of human side," and he goes like this. Whoop, like he just goes like this so instantly because he's been doing this like yourself for 40 years. Whoop, like he just
Uh-huh.
goes up into the higher perspective. But help me through okay. Let's actually go through the real life experience where you say, "Oh, oh gosh, I really want this to be a bestseller." Or I'm looking at Amazon and someone said, "Oh, this is just horse shit," and you're looking at that. How do you? So you say, okay, what hindrance is coming up for me now? Like literally step me through. What's happening in your mind, in an advanced practitioner's mind? What do you do? What's happening in this head?
Yeah, well, I think it's a combination of what's happening in the head, so to speak, what's happening in the mind, but also what's happening in the body.
Ah, okay.
And very often, keying into the bodily response is an easier way to kind of settle back and become mindful of it and let it pass through. You know, you feel that clenching in the heart, the
Right.
dagger in the heart. You know, and that's a visceral
Right.
feeling.
Right.
But because it can be so strong. Okay, so right in the moment we're aware of it, and really can learn to smile at it's what the Buddha called the vicissitudes, praise and blame.
Yeah.
You know, it's always there,
Yeah.
and so we'll always get praise and we'll always get blame, and knowing that that's part of life. That's part of the changes we go through. So we're aware of our reaction, but because we're not. Because we are being mindful of it, it's easier just to suit us. You know, we see it and it comes up and
Yeah, it
ouch.
goes like that. All right, so okay, so is this so here's my imagination happening. I just imagine you're like that book sucks. Like knife and heart, and you sitting there going, huh, knife and heart. Hurt,
well,
knife and heart, hurt. Let it go. What's happening?
I can give you a little real life anecdote
Okay,
from
please do.
from one
Yeah,
of my earlier books.
yeah.
You know, it's a book that the Dalai Lama had written a foreword to.
Uh huh.
So written, it comes out, and the Amazon customer reviews, and a lot of people loved it. This one review said, "This book is just silly."
Yeah.
So I saw that, and the first thought that came to my mind when I read that, but the Dalai Lama likes it, and it just helped to remind me. Oh yes, there's all sorts of reactions that are going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
The key is really being aware. It's not that. You know, that we become so flat, we're not reactive to things.
yeah.
You know, these reactions are going to come, but it's really whether they fill us and are long lasting, or they just arise in the moment and we let them go.
Yeah. And I think the hardest part is having them arise it's the letting the go part that's hard.
Yeah.
And,
Well, that's the role of mindfulness, really.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's to be aware enough, you know,
Right.
so that we see that it is an arising in the mind,
Yeah.
and we don't get caught by it. We don't get identified with it.
See, where I get stuck is I could say, oh, pain. And then I'll say, oh, I'm going to get curious. What is that pain about? Oh,
Uh-huh.
it's about desire. Oh, okay. Well, what's that desire about? Oh, well, it's because I really want to be, I want this to be a success. Why do you want it to be a success? Well, because I would like to, because that would mean I made an accomplishment. Why does it matter? It's an accomplishment.
Yeah, I
Because
think
I
I
have
would.
self-worth.
I think the first part of what you were doing seemed really skillful,
Yeah.
but I would stop the train somewhere after the first few steps. You know, so you bring that investigation just as you did,
Yeah.
but not go down the rabbit hole of endless
Analyzing.
querying.
Yeah.
You know, where you just get enough of a sense of what it's about,
Yeah.
and then okay, this is enough. I don't need to pursue it. You know, to the bottom.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so by going down the elevator, I just went too far. If I just said, this is desire.
Yeah,
This
exactly. It's desire, it's ambition, it's
Right. And
you
then
know,
I just
wanting.
kind of let it go. But that's the part that's the hardest part, to just let it
Well,
go.
well, a better phrase rather than letting go might be letting be.
Okay.
Let it be, because in the letting it be, it's going to come and go by itself.
Right.
Everything has the nature to arise and be there and pass away. So if you can be aware of it without feeding it, and you just let it be, the mind stays at ease. It just sees it. It's a passing cloud in the mind.
So, like, isn't that an interesting thought? Let's just quarter this off into a different part of my mind that I don't have to be conscious of. It's just out there. Like, where would you?
You don't have to put it anyplace because
Just let it be.
The nature of it is to change. It will arise and pass by itself. Okay. So if you're not feeding it or you're not getting lost in it, you don't really have to do anything to let it go. It will go by itself.
Okay.
Because it has the nature, everything has the nature to change. Okay. And so you can really relax in the awareness of that.
Okay. So it's everything is impermanent, including
exactly, and very impermanent, really.
Right. But the sad thing is that because everything is impermanent, the thought will come back again. It will come back again.
Well,
right?
What's surprising is
even leaving, it will come back again.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's a nice phrase from the teachings of Suzuki Roshi, who was the founder of the San Francisco Zen Center.
Yeah.
He said, "Don't be bothered by your thoughts. Let them come and let them go." And if you can have that attitude, they may come again. But if you're not reactive to it, either believing them or judging them, and if you just don't be bothered by them, let them come and go, you'll see that they don't really come back for very long. They may repeat for a while, but you're not reactive. You're in a place of ease. You can even smile at them. And you'll see that they really lose their power. The only power thoughts have is the power that you give them.
Right.
The thought itself is really quite empty.
Right. It's the thing that you're saying. If you feed it, it will grow. But if
exactly.
you're just kind of like, it's a thought, it will come and go. Whatever.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. I'm gonna try. As I said, I was standing in the grocery line, and I was thinking about your book, Mindfulness, Practical Guide to Awakening, and I was really busy, so I was very impatient waiting. But I just sat there and said, standing,
yes,
standing and waiting.
Yes.
Standing and waiting. I have to tell you, it made the standing and waiting way more pleasurable because I wasn't fixated about, now I'm going to have to suffer because I'm late, because I'm standing and waiting, because this person has too many groceries. It's a 10 limit and you have 11 items and I'm so mad at you. It's just like waiting. Lots of things in that pile. Waiting.
Well, even as you're aware of the waiting,
yeah,
which was a great coming back into the moment, just being there, you could really open up to what you're feeling in the body, open to sounds, open to everything you're seeing.
Yeah, I was. I started looking and going,
the experience could get very rich.
Yeah, I started thinking, look at all the beautiful produce here. I
didn't
realize
exactly.
There's so many colors here. Look at that person's face. I see them all the time, but I didn't notice that person really. So, so we were going to go on break. We were talking about Mindfulness, A Practical Guide to Awakening by Joseph Goldstein. We'll be right back.